years ago, first literally I wrote it on a napkin, contacted an architect. He drew it. It was like a hand drawing to get the concept down. And then it wouldn't leave. So I kept revisiting and just here and there. And then I hired another architect to do an actual floor plan. Then we modified the floor plan and then we put color to it. And then we have walkthroughs. So the first part of it, the overall concept is this, and it came from a fear of something happening at my daughter's house. I don't live a life of fear, but this is on my mind with knowing this is a possibility. I work in Centennial. My kids go to school in Lone Tree. So if something happens, it's going to take me 10 to 15 minutes max no matter what I do, right? And that's way too long. In 2020, you could call 911 and nobody shows up. Right? And especially if you're a smaller school, if you're a big school, if there's some kind of emergency in a large school, everybody's going there. Then if there's another, it's oldest trick in the book is a diversion, right? There's a diversion here and then another attack. There's many books about this, but if that were to happen, they get no one. They get 0 police officers, right? So it really bothers me that there aren't people closer because I can only do so much. In a model like this, I could potentially be working in that building. Let me explain that. On this design, one end is a school, and I've not developed that thoroughly because I don't build schools. Someone who, I'm going to partner with someone who builds schools, and they're going to create a school that's best for the teaching environment, right? But the other part, there's a courtyard in the middle, and this is not a new design, it's a very old design. Back when there were threats and they were external, there were courtyards, again, so people could just go about their lives, and it's not a prison, it's a beautiful park. There's trees, there's grass, they're hanging out, doing their thing, outdoor classes, all of that. So it literally is like your little city park right in the middle of here. It bothers me that I'm by STEM the other day. This is the 3-year anniversary of the school shooting that happened in STEM. I drive by and there's just a ton of kids playing in the parking lot, right? So that is just very, very vulnerable in a place that has, had never happened here. It happened here. Right. And then you fast forward 3 years and we're playing in the parking lot again, right? Yeah. So having them protected physically to where now it's just a matter of which entrances and exits are maintained, and that can be through technology. Somebody's on the property, that's not good, right? We know that the building helps. We say it this way, to get to them, you have to go through me. Works since the beginning of time. But now you have the building saying that. To get to them, you have to go through the building, through the structure, through the hard stops. And if you're ever messing with the gate, we're going to know because technology told us you're not supposed to be here. So that's that another ring, we call them those concentric rings of security. That's another one that lets us know we have a problem before it's actually a problem. With me so far?
I'm with you.
Okay. So this perimeter is built up of actual local businesses. So I want this model that I foresee being built here locally to be a private Christian school. Why is that? Private, meaning there's so much, and you can speak to this, there's so much red tape. If you want to screw something up but good, why don't you give that to the government to do, right? Yeah. So give it to the school board and see what they come up with, right? And I do like our school board now. We made some drastic changes here in Douglas County that needed to happen, but it must be, somebody has to say, I'm going to go build this and model it for the world, right? Why do I say Christian? Because you know where I stand. I'm not interested in starting broken. Right? If the problem is if I believe truly that this is these biblical foundation, the fundamentals, the values that built this nation, that it's a good model. We just didn't do it right. It's time to get back to the foundation. So a private Christian school. Yeah. The movie that we just saw, whose children are they? Our friends, Jonathan, Deborah Flora, and Jonathan Flora that put this movie together will turn your gut on what's going on in education today.
Private Christian school.
Private Christian school. So if that's the case, now, obviously there's going to be tuition paid on this side of it for people going to school. I would love to see a voucher system because I believe that is part of the fix, and I understand the arguments back and forth, but it must be competitive. I must have a choice to say this works better, and then let that trickle down. And people say, that seems to be working. They're actually doing that. Why am I kid going, let's build another one. Let's build another one. So that must play out, right? So if the people there on the outskirts of the building, those are actual private businesses, right? And you can't get a business front in Castle Rock right now. Like it's such sought after real estate. It means there's a covenant relationship saying that a portion of your staff will maintain a degree of training. People say it can't be done. I'm like, I do it every day. Like we do this every day but Sunday. Right. Don't tell me it can't be done because I can show you hundreds of people that do this and they do not have law enforcement or any kind of tactical background. Prove it to you. So, but they still want to argue. I'm like, well, what if I could prove it? What if this would work? What if, and they're like, I don't care to hear it. Okay, well, then we see where that gets us. So these people would be working throughout the day. They would not interfere. It gets weird when you have like the watchdogs and like these dads coming in. And if you got great people, it can help and it can add value. But we've seen that go the other way with churches and schools where there's dads hanging out, and now it's kind of a burden. You know, it was cool when it started, but now it's a burden. Like, we just want to teach kids, man. And you guys are in here messing around and doing whatever. It just means that now they're focused on this. You wouldn't be in the courtyard at all. You're just running your business. But if a light goes off in that ceiling and there's an emergency, you're going to go through your back door. You go through a secure corridor, and you're going to make your way along the outskirts of that corridor, and you're going to get into that school. It provides a 30-second response time within that school on any given school day. So you're not paying security guards. I saw in one instance, it was each SRO, it's like $90,000 minimum to get one more school resource officer. $90,000 per person, and you need a team. It can't be one person, right? So if you're the person, it's SRO, and the kid's going to go like, they know who you are, so they shoot that guy, and now there's nobody. We're back to that, right? Yeah. So we need to understand that the cost savings of this is that person is also paying a lease. I'm a business owner. And I would put my money where my mouth is and lease the space. I say, I'll take these spaces, and then I will be there. My staff and I will be there on any given school day, and business stops if there's an emergency. Very unlikely, so it means that's not going to threaten your business. But if it did, I would do it anyway. Right. You know what I mean? Most people would. But now you're going to do it untrained. So to maintain a training, what I've seen is when you add that responsibility to individuals, dignity shows up. That pride and this. I'm just going to be sarcastic. I'm not going to, maybe I will. Honor still means something here.
Yes.
Right. And when we state that, people go, you know what? Me too. Like when you give somebody dignity and respect and they feel honor, you see it. You see people walk taller out of these doors than they do coming in. And I absolutely love that. And that too, in that is also the answer. So people that might be over there selling shoes, right? And it's become a job, but then he's also here to protect these children. So he stands a little taller that day. And then we drill that. We practice it regularly. This is part of the thing, and that forms community. And then you start doing stuff together, and you're in that school all the time because you're running it when there's kids aren't there, right? So you know it inside and out. You invite local law enforcement in to know it inside and out, and then you just get back to living your life. But what that adds is confidence, it adds honor, it's dignity, it's all of that. There's no cost monthly to do that. A little bit of buy-in for we are going to train periodically. Maybe it's once a quarter. Once you get a standard, if you don't have a standard, you start with chaos. Right. So there must be something. And if there's a better idea out there, I would love to see it. I haven't seen it. So in our community in Castle Rock, this burns me down in Douglas County. I said, there's all that money sitting in the bank that was from 3 years ago. They've already congratulated themselves for spending that money. It's still in the bank. Half of it's still in the bank, right? I don't understand that. I don't understand how people aren't furious about this. So to be able to fund something like this and be the first one in the nation, and they say, well, you can't just revamp all the schools. You know how much money this would cost? I understand that, but somebody's building a school right now. Somebody's got plans to build another school. I actually talked to a school that is looking to come into Castle Rock. And I said, would this be an option? And I just, you got to plant a seed and then back away and then let them see it, right? And then do it again and then let them see it. The other thing is